Moshe.
Go ahead.
So at midnight, that's the end of 1943.
Mm.
At midnight, where were you?
Not born.
I was walking through the camp and it was drizzling. There was nobody outside.
Mm.
I walked from window to window. Young people were still celebrating.
Mm.
Some had harmonica, playing
Mm.
little music, and some were kind of dancing.
Mm.
These were teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I walked to my right, and here's where the kitchen was, and the mess hall where the prisoners ate by the gate.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a little light in the window, just one bulb in the middle of the room protruding,
Mm.
and the rest of the place was dark. And I was curious, what's going on over there that
Mm.
late? So I slowly come up, look in the window, and I saw about maybe 8 or 10 young people sitting
Mm.
under this light.
Mm-hmm.
And I was curious, what are they doing? So I slowly opened the door, got inside, closed the door, and sat in the dark
Mm.
on the bench
Mm.
against the wall in the
Mm.
dark shadow. And I watched what they were doing. They were talking about things that I did not comprehend, even though they spoke Ukrainian and Russian.
Mm.
And then they began to pray.
Mm.
These were Christian young people.
Mm.
Some of them were from the camp, and some came from the farms,
Wow.
were allowed to come and join in the camp.
Mm-hmm.
They would not let the ones in the camp go somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
but those who were outside working on
Mhm.
the farms, they could come in and fellowship.
Mm.
And so they began to pray, and I specifically remember this blonde, beautiful girl with long braids.
Mhm.
She may have been 18 years old. And as the Russians pray, they stand. So standing under this light, with her face up and her eyes were closed, and tears just pouring down her cheeks. And she was praying for her mommy, for her daddy, for her sister, naming her little sister, and babushka, and on and on.
Mm.
And one after another, they were praying like that. That was the most revolutionary experience that I had up to that point in
Mhm.
my life. And so when the prayer meeting ended, I quietly snuck out of there. I don't know if they noticed me or not, but I have a feeling that they probably prayed for me too. And that was my first introduction to Christians, whom I didn't know. And then, as the year 1944 began, the bombing intensified. The Allies came more often, dropped bombs, and in the night, all the lights go off. The city is totally pitch dark. There's no, so that the bombers could not see where to drop the bombs.
Mhm.
The city would go black,
Mm.
and you have to run to fire escape. They had a
Mm.
bunker in the middle of the camp
Mm.
in the ground. And when the lights go off, on some nights, the heavy overcast, you couldn't see a thing. Imagine the light go completely off, and all these people in their bunk beds, like in cages,
Mm.
and everybody's trying to get out and find their children
Mm.
and run to fire escape.
I got to cut you off again.